This crispy biscotti with the classic gingerbread spices is the perfect way to welcome the fall. A favorite alternative to a cookie in our house, we enjoy these gingerbread biscottis with coffee, tea, or Dunkin' milk any time of the day. To make gingerbread biscotti, you'll need 2½ cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1½ teaspoon of ground ginger, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 6 tablespoons of softened butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of molasses, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. You'll start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees, and then in a large bowl, you're going to just add all your dry ingredients, your 2½ cups of flour, your assorted spices. This is your ginger, your cinnamon, and your cloves. This is the nutmeg and the baking powder. And this would be our salt and our baking soda. And then with a whisk, just whisk it all together, and then we're going to just put this aside. In a separate bowl, put your 6 tablespoons of softened butter with your 1 cup of brown sugar, and we're going to beat this together for about 2 minutes. Once your butter and brown sugar are nicely creamed together, now add your eggs and continue beating. Once your eggs, sugar, and brown sugar look nice and smooth, it's time to add your vanilla and your molasses. And then we'll continue beating until this is all incorporated. Now you just want to stir in your flour mixture. Once you've formed a nice stiff dough, it's time to turn it out onto a floured breadboard. And we'll shape it into 2 separate loaves before we bake it. So once your dough is turned out, divide it in half. We're going to make 2 separate pieces here. Press it down and shape it into, I like to do them in oblong shapes. Not too flat, but not too thick. And the same over here. With your hand, square off your edges using your pastry scraper. And once you have your 2 pieces of dough shaped, you want to transfer them on to a parchment-lined baking sheet. Now the next step is you take some powdered sugar and you just put it on the top, kind of rub it in a little bit. It's about a tablespoon on each loaf. And now these will go into the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Our gingerbread biscottis are out of the oven and they've cooled to room temperature, and now it's time to cut them. Using a very sharp knife, you just want to go through your loaf, making them about, I like to cut them about a ½ an inch wide. These are going back on our baking sheet, and we'll go back into the oven, again a 350 degree oven, for about 10 to 15 minutes. We want to dry them out. This is the second baking of a biscotti. With all the aromas that we associate with the fall, these delicious crispy gingerbread biscottis are a natural comfort food. They freeze well and they make a lovely gift. This is a new recipe in our home, but already a family favorite.